Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Fashioniksha. In this video, we are learning how to make women's shirt. So these are the measurements which we need: the length, shoulder, chest, waist, hip and waist length. So here I have just taken an approximate standard measurements to show how to make a pattern. From the edge, leave about 2 inches and draw a line. And this is a center front line, and from this center front line, on top of this, draw a line across, and this will be considered as shoulder line. From this shoulder line, mark the shirt length, that is 24 inches, and draw a line across. From this line, mark 1/4 inches for the hem fold and draw a line across. So this is hem line and the bottom folding line. So once you are complete with the bottom line, now mark a waist line. Locate a waist line, that is waist length is 14 inches. From shoulder, mark 14 inches and draw a line across. This is considered as a waist line. And now in order to draw the chest line, calculate the measurement from shoulder to chest line. The formula is chest divided by 4 minus 1/4 inches. Chest divided by 4 is 8.5 inches minus 1/4 is 7.25 inches, and mark 7.25 inches from the shoulder and draw a line across, and this will be considered as chest line. So now we got all the basic lines. There is a shoulder line, chest line, waist line, hem line and then hem folding line as well. Now mark the shoulder measurements, that is half of the shoulder. Shoulder is 14 inches, half of the shoulder is 7 inches. Mark, once after marking, draw a line straight down to a chest line, that is perpendicular to a chest line, that you can say as well. And once that is done, now mark the chest circumference. Chest is 34 inches. To mark the chest circumference, chest divided by 4 plus ease allowances. Chest divided by 4 is 8.5 inches plus 1.5 inches, that is total at 10 inches, marking for the chest measurements. And same formula applies to your waist as well. The waist is 30 inches circumference, and in this chest waist divided by 4, that is 7.5 inches plus 1.5 inches is allowances, 9 inches, and after 9 inches 1 inches for the dart, so that we marked it over here. Mark the hip circumference. Hip circumference is 36. Again here the same formula applies, that hip divided by 4 is 9 inches plus 1.5 inches is 10.5 inches. Mark it over here. Same applies to the hem folding line. Now we have marked a shoulder measurements, half of the shoulder, and chest measurements, that is a chest circumference measurements, waist circumference measurements plus 1 inches for the dart for the shaping purpose, and at the hip circumference measurements. So once after marking is done, now use a hip curve measurements or a shaping scale. Join the line from chest to waist and from waist to hip. So mark it almost like 70% of it, and then take the shape again from the hip line. Now mark a neck round. Neck round is 15 inches. Okay, so neck round is 15 inches. To mark the neck round, the formula is neck round divided by 6 plus half an inches. Neck round is 15 inches divided by 6 is 2.5 plus half an inches. So total measurements will be 3 inches. And neck deep remains the same as the neck width. So mark the 3 inches from here. And now make a square. So this is not necessary, but this helps us to draw a proper curve line. So that is the reason that we draw this a square. And once this is done, from the point of the square, from the corner, mark 1 inches diagonally and draw a neckline curve using a French curve or an armhole curve. Once this is done, now mark the shoulder slope, that is 1.5 inches slope for the shirt. And now draw a shoulder slope line. So once this is done, from the chest line mark 3/4 inches above and locate a midpoint of it. This is 7/4. The midpoint is like 3.6, and from the 3.6 mark a 1 centimeter inside and draw a straight line from the shoulder slope to a midpoint. And once this is done, from here now draw a smooth curve line. Now from the center front line mark 1/4 inches. So this 1/4 inches is for the front placket, button plackets, and this is a line parallel to a center front. Center front, and here just mark a bit above diagonally, so that when you fold, this point matches to here. And if it is excess also, when you are stitching, you can cut it off. So, and now if you want to give a shape at this bottom, you can give a shape, or you want to keep it straight, you can keep it straight. Now here I would like to give a shape. For the shape, go up by 2 inches, or you want to go or reduce the shape, you can reduce it always. And from here locate a midpoint, that is a 5/4. From here you can keep the armhole curve from the center and draw a shape, smooth curve. Once this is done, draw a dot. So from the waist, locate a midpoint from the actual waist measurements, not from the including the dot. Leave that 1 inch dot and locate a midpoint. The waist round is 9 inches. Mark the center, that is 4.5 inches, and draw a line. Mark half an inches on either side of the line which you left it for the dot. Above mark a 3 inches is enough, and then bottom again from this waistline mark approximately a 6 inches dot, and now draw a dot. So this completes the front pattern of a women's shirt. Once after completing, make sure to mention the terminologies, that is a grain line, front cut 2 pieces. Once after the front is ready, cut the pattern accordingly and trace the same pattern to make back pattern. This is how it looks after cutting a front pattern. Now before you trace, fold this placket line. This is how the front pattern looks after cutting. Before you trace the front pattern, fold this placket line inside, and we can cut this shape as well. You can see this shape now, and fold it, and now you trace the front pattern to make a back. Keep the front pattern and trace accordingly. You can use a scale to draw the straight lines, and draw a straight line. Extend it a little bit of 2 to 3 inches for the marking, and draw the shoulder slope line. And from the highest point of shoulder, draw a straight line towards center back. So once after tracing, make sure to mark the basic lines. Now draw those lines. That is a chest line and the waist line. And extend this line till chest line. Okay. Once after tracing, from the shoulder slope, mark 2/4 inches, and from the highest point of shoulder, mark 2/4 inches straight, and draw a shoulder slope line, and join to highest point of shoulder. Once this is done, from the corner, mark 1 inch diagonally or at the 45-degree angle, and draw a smooth line curve a midpoint from shoulder slope to a chest line. So it shows 8 inches. Midpoint is at the 4th, and from the midpoint, draw a back armhole curve. And now again keep the front pattern. Mark the dot points. To mark the dot points, use any of the sharp object, or you can use a pencil, a pen. Once the dot point has been marked, draw a line, the dot line first. See the dot points, and extend this line further to a chest line, and now join these dot lines, and from the dot point, the front dot point, extend 2 inches up and complete the dot. The question arises here, so why the back dot is more than the front dot? The only reason is the front, we need a fullness at the bust area. That is the reason we give the dot, or we end the dot just below the bust area. And here at the back, so back we don't need a much fullness at the back area, so that is the only reason we extend the dot in order to take out the excess fabric. Once you complete it, make sure to mark the terminologies that is unfold, grain line, back, cut one piece. Once you complete the back pattern, cut accordingly. This is how the back pattern looks after cutting. It's a final view of women's shirt pattern front and back. Thank you.